Former governor of North Carolina, Pat McCrory, can't seem to find a job. Oh, sad day. In an interview with World Radio Podcast, according to the News and Observer, McCrory said that the controversial bill, bathroom bill HB2 that he passed in North Carolina, is preventing him from getting a job. Oh, fascinating. Now, of course, that bill got a lot of backlash, causing the state to be boycotted and ended up losing them millions of dollars in revenue. Now, people looked at that state and were like, North Carolina, why would I want to go there? There's a bunch of bigots there. We don't care about that. You drop this HB2 bill, and then we'll come back. Great. Except that he didn't. And except that he was like, no, I believe in this bill. I believe in being an asshole. Whoa, that's fantastic. Now, in this interview, he lamented about how holding fast to his conservative principles on this bill impacts him to this day. He says, even after I left office, people are reluctant to hire me because, oh my gosh, he's a bigot. Well, that is the last thing that I am. That is the last thing that I am, he says. Really? Are you sure? You realize that that law, the impacts of that law were actually pretty bigoted, pretty hateful. Now, of course, instead of taking responsibility and saying that this law was wrong, guess what he does? He blames the Democrats. Of course. He said, quote, if you disagree with the politically correct thought police on this new definition of gender, you're a bigot. You're the worst kind of evil. It's almost as if I broke a law. Aw, bigot has us sad. Let's all feel bad for Pat McCrory, that special snowflake. No, you realize what makes you a bigot is that you picked on a minority group that is powerless and often victimized. Do you know, according to data, 50% of transgender individuals have reported being sexually assaulted in this country. 50%. Jesus Christ, man. So what happens? I mean, this is what happens when you make a trans woman go into a men's bathroom. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Especially if you send them in a place like North Carolina. Come on, come on. We all know what's going to happen. Look, trans people have a history of being demonized, mocked, attacked, and even murdered. There was a viral video going around on Facebook of a Brazilian transgender woman being brutally beaten and murdered. This happens a lot more often than you would think. These people are victims. Okay? They're not the predators. They're the victims. And what Pat McCrory did is that he victimized them even further. This wasn't even an issue until he brought it up and politicized it. There were places in North Carolina, they're like, you know what? We're going to protect our trans population. McCrory steps in and said, fuck no, you're not. We need to demonize those people. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to take a non-existent problem and come up with a solution. Probably to distract people from how shitty living in North Carolina is. Just saying. Look, that's why you're a bigot, Pat McCrory. It's not the liberal thought police coming after you. I don't give a damn what you think. But what it is that it's public decency. It's human decency, man. Who gives a fuck what bathrooms people use? I don't give a shit. Most people don't give a shit. And all this became a problem when you decided to politicize it. Like an asshole. Yeah, you know what? He is the worst kind of evil because he lacks any sort of empathy to people who are attacked, shamed, and demonized for just being who they are. Now, as far as not being able to find a job, well, that's an easy one. Again, this isn't because of the liberal thought police. It comes down to economics. Turns out transgender people, their money is just as green as everybody else's. So if you hire a bigot, well, transgender people, they're not going to want to spend their money. And people who care about transgender people, or people who are just good, decent, honest people that don't like when you hate on others, well, they don't want to shop at a company that associates with your ass. This is essentially the hand of the free market slapping you upside the head for being an idiot, for being a bigot, for being a terrible person. That's what happened. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.